One of my buddies, my fraternity brothers, he does the whole lip filler stuff, and he noticed that one thing that people come in for is very simple. It's just a lip filler, so it doesn't require that much, just a couple of injections. But once they see the effect that it has on their look, now they're somewhat in that wheel where they just want to keep rotating it. Now they want to inject their cheeks, their forehead, so they don't wrinkle as much. And the more that they get these micro little changes, the more that they're willing to do these big changes like actual boob surgery. And eventually, a lot of these folks look so different than their initial self, and they're hearing from their partners like, I love the way that you are, but they just don't buy it, and they're just on that hamster wheel, man. And it's a very sad thing. I've seen a lot of beautiful girls look like zombies because they abused plastic surgery. That's a big turnoff for me. I'm not a big plastic surgery fan. If a girl is natural, I think that's the ultimate flex nowadays.
See, I think a little bit of plastic surgery can enhance your face significantly. I mean, if you have a fucked up nose and you get a rhinoplasty, you might look significantly better, and that's a fact. I mean, if you have some kind of really, some people have a very glaring issue on their face, like a
Mhm.
big mole somewhere, and you get that removed, it's gonna up your looks by a lot. The problem with this stuff happens is when you get too much of it and you start looking like Michael Jackson.
Oh yeah, he's a good example of that.
Like you look weird. There's a lot of these celebrities that look weird. I don't like the whole duck face thing that a lot of celebrities have. Like, what the fuck are you guys up to? Are you trying to kiss everybody? Like, what the fuck?
That's what their face looks like at this point, man. I mean, it starts
I don't
off
know
with
what they
removing a
do, but
mole. Yeah, but guys are doing this now too. Did you hear some guys are getting like ab surgery? That's weird to
I
me. And
don't
they're
know, man. As a guy, like the only surgery I would ever get, I mean, that I can think of is if you have like a whole bunch of, wrinkles or something, you get some Botox, like a simple injection. I can understand that. But if you're getting like a full blown surgery, having plastic fillers inserted into your abs, I think that's overkill. Just lose some fucking weight. You'll be fine.
dude, some people do that. They get fake teeth, they get hair plugs. I mean, they just become a different person. And yeah, I mean, you could get the change quick, you could look better, but I do think it showcases something in a person's psychology for them to even do something like that. The mole and stuff I could get, but my hesitancy with that is that it's sort of like, let's think of drugs for a second. It's sort of like someone starting off with a cigarette and then eventually just graduating to weed, to coke, and it just gets worse and worse for a lot of these folks. So if people have restraint, then that's one thing. But most of the folks that do plastic surgery often don't have that restraint.
I get you, but sometimes it's necessary in the sense that if you take an example of a girl trying to get married, right, and she has a huge fucking mole on her face, if she
Hmm.
gets that removed, her chances of getting married improve significantly. At least be getting married to a good guy. Because a lot of guys will just reject you for having a fucked up face. Just practical realities of life. A girl has a huge mole right in the middle of her face. It's gonna be not. She's not gonna be as attractive to you, is she? No.
No,
So
she's not. Those kind of girls I could understand somewhat. My thing, the one I scratch my head on is when the girl is already a 8 or a 9 and they're now pushing their luck.
hmm.
I knew a
Yeah,
girl
after
that
a
was like
while,
really attractive. Like she was pretty hot. And then she wanted a boob surgery. I was like, "Come on, man. Like you don't need a boob surgery. If you're flat chested, then I could somewhat see it. And even if you're flat chested, I don't think that's enough to get the boob surgery. If it's the situation you're mentioning where she's getting turned down left and right and it's severely impacting her life, then I could see a case being made for that. But if you're just trying to get it as a recreational stuff, even though you look good, I wouldn't recommend that. I wouldn't. If I have daughters, I would tell my daughters, yo, be very wary of that kind of stuff.
it's a mental disease. I'm telling you, it's completely a mental disease where you are so, you become very insecure. Where even though you're good looking, you
Hmm.
start thinking that you look like shit, and you need all these surgeries to look better. A lot of good people, good
Yeah.
looking girls don't actually realize they're good looking. I mean, they have an intuitive sense, but they're also very insecure. I'm sure you've noticed it. I mean, you can sleep with a
plenty of
lot of
times.
beautiful girls easily if you can nag them properly. Make them feel super insecure. They'll sleep with you for approval. Not that difficult to do at all. Like a lot of guys do this. Girls have a lot of insecurities going on, and a lot of these media people exploit that.
If you talk to a lot of attractive girls, they had 1 to 5 years where they were really ugly. And that's when their personality was being developed. I mean, whether we're aware of it or not, a lot of our childhood influences the adulthood. And a lot of these super attractive girls were very ugly during that impressionable stage. And once they're attractive, they're thinking that they're going to get a lot of opportunities, which they do. They get a lot of pretty privilege, but at the same time, they often get marginalized as well. Where if a girl is very attractive, we're not immediately going to think that she's smart too. Even if she's smart, a lot of people are just going to be like, she got here because of her looks. So a lot of them have that self conscious attitude despite being hot because it opens up a boatload of other problems.